Getting all the stuff to drive a 2-inch well. We haven't been getting any rain, so I need to find another source for water. We're gonna have no rain for the next 10 weeks and I'm out of that rainwater. So here we are. Still no sign of rain. Maybe we get a 1/2 inch next week, maybe. We're supposed to get lots of rain. We never had the spring rains. So this grass is probably not gonna do too well. So what we're doing here is putting in this well. It's probably gonna take a few days. I only have water enough for maybe tomorrow. So hopefully I can get this sooner than later. I've got a little hole started. It's about 3 feet down there, so we're going to put the point down there, start attaching the couplings, and see what we can do. Now, I've tried this twice before, a long time ago, with a smaller pipe with no luck, but hopefully I've got everything down this time. The radishes are all coming up nice. That's either grass or carrots. We'll know a little bit more later. We have a little bit of grass coming up. We have these holes here. Those are beetles. Those 2 that I fed to the guineas a while back, those are probably them burrowing up and flying off. It doesn't look like we have any of the herbs coming up, but we do have a couple of something. So we'll see. And the onions are all coming up really nice inside the grass. So that's good. We also have onions over here, but I don't see any of those coming up yet. Those should be right along this edge here. This is still our first pipe. I did take a break for a while. Someone stopped by. The point is well below the ground. The tip of the point's probably about 5 feet down. It's still driving. Every time I hit it, it does go down a little bit. I think I went through a rock. The screen is still barely visible. And we're probably 15 more strikes and we'll be on striking sanding on the ground instead of on the back of the truck. But I'm gonna take a lunch break here. Well, breakfast, lunch. Get something to eat. Cool down a little bit and then back at it. I don't know how many strikes I've had on it, but it's been quite a few. It's slightly off plumb. It wasn't too bad. Let's see. Oh, now it's even more so. So it's going in at a slight angle. So we gotta try and get it pushed that direction. See if you can see down there. So you can just barely see the screen inside of the hole. So it's 3 feet down plus what I had already dug. So it's getting down there. We should hit water in about 7 more feet or so. And it should get a little easier to drive. Quick update on this. This is still our first pipe. It's down there quite a ways now. I had to replace the cap. Here's the old one. It is cracked on the inside, but the real issue is the threads. It was literally destroying that pipe. I don't know if it's going to be okay or not, but I put that coupling on there and I put the nipple on there and then I put the cap on the nipple. And the other thing is I'm not hitting it as hard I'm basically just letting the 10-pound hammer hit it and not bringing any force down with it. I think I was hitting it too hard, so I'm just going at it a bit easier now. It's still going down. Every 5 taps gives me about 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. I expect to hit water somewhere around 10 feet. We're at 3, 4, 5, we're at about 6 feet. All right, so that is the top of the first pipe. And here's the nipple and the top. Everything seems fine with it. Slight disformation on the threads on the bottom. But the interesting thing is that is about 7 feet down, because that's a 5 foot and that's just under a foot above ground. And we have water in the bottom of it. I don't know how much water. I just dropped this string and there was a little bit of water on the very end. So my guess is we're barely into it at 7 feet. So we're gonna do one more pipe and then I'm gonna try and figure out how much water's in the column. And then we might call it good at that. And I'll just hold these 2 pipes in case I have to bring it deeper later on when it's even more dry than it is now. But it is a very nice day out. So hitting it lighter and putting it on this nipple made a huge difference. And we're just gonna keep doing that. We're in water, so it should be a little bit easier going now. We're right about neck height. And there's the coupling that was a foot above ground is now a 1.5 feet below. I'm gonna take a break, get something to drink, and then get back at it. Once it gets about a foot above the ground, we'll check the water level, see how much is in the column. Overall, we are roughly 13, let's see, 10 and 1, about 11 feet down. That's not very far. But I'm gonna check and see how much water we got in there. So I've got this screwdriver tied to this twine. We're gonna let this down the hole, and when it hits the bottom, I'm gonna let it sit for a minute so that the twine can get wet, and then we'll know how far down. Okay, we hit water. Still going down. Still going down. Oh, okay. We are on the bottom. Just gonna let it sit there for a minute. Okay, we'll pull it back up. So that's a long way. Let's measure that out. All right, so I just measured this out, and it goes from the tip of the screwdriver all the way to here. So that's 71 inches, almost 6 feet. And this calls for 5 feet of water in the column. So we're good. So if we're 12 down and we have 6 feet of water, then we have about a 6-foot water table. So I want to put this pitcher pump on and then see if we can get water out of there. We've got it put together. Let's see if this actually works. So I don't know if there's any leaks in the pipe. If there are, you're not gonna get suction. And two, this is a 1/4, 1 1/4 pump, but we've got a 2-inch pipe, so that may also be an issue. We're gonna go get some water, fill this up, and then see if we can get this running out. Holy cow, we got water. Yeah. Now we gotta do this until it's clear. Here. I don't know how clear it's really going to get. It's pretty sandy down there. It might be as clear as it'll get. Just put a little bit of water on this little patch that I have here. I think most of the radishes are dead and not gonna survive, but there may be a couple. I've got this test kit here. It says everything on it says, hey, complete water test. Check, make sure your water is clean and good for drinking until you open it. And then it says, if you rely on this, then they're not liable because it's worthless, basically. And the water coming out is actually a little clearer than last night. Still got some silt in it, but that is much clearer than it was. So some of that silt at the bottom must have settled into the point. But this requires a lot of tests, separate tests. Even though it says it's worthless, it may be useful. Since I didn't plan on drinking this anyway, but definitely the nitrate, iron, copper. I really don't care about the hardness or alkalinity. And lead is probably non-existent. But nitrate is the biggest one here. Copper and iron is probably not much, if anything. But each one of these takes a different sample of water. So I'll run through these, and the bacteria is probably a good one to do too. So I'll run through these and won't waste your time walking around and filling up different glasses. We'll check out the results. The first test is this hardness chlorine alkaline pH test. I expect this will be just fine. Our water is still slightly colored, but I did not completely flush it. So we're going to take this test strip, open this up, put it in here, move it gently back and forth for 5 seconds. Then we'll shake once to remove the excess water and wait 25 seconds for the results. I'm going to set the camera down. Okay, we're now waiting the 25 seconds. Ten more seconds. All right, let's see what we got. It says we have a slight bit of chlorine, a slight bit of, slight bit of free chlorine, marked by those two right there in the middle. This top one, we're somewhere around 0 to 25 hardness. Down here we are in between 0 and 40 alkalinity, and pH is down here at about 6.2 or so. Not a super accurate test, but it's about to be expected. It should be slightly acidic because it's all rainwater. Don't have any rocks. All right, so we'll jump into the next one. The next one is going to be iron. Might as well go in order. We've got the 4 ounces here. We're going to dip it for 5 seconds, shake it once, and wait 2 minutes to see the color. So while we're waiting, we'll go ahead with the copper test as well. So here are the 2 other tests. It says to wait 2 minutes total, which we have not done yet. This one's bright orange, and this one is slight green. Since there's no blue, I'm assuming that actually the color looked a little better in the shade. So we'll let those sit there a minute, but it looks like there's no iron and no copper. So our next one is the nitrate. 4 ounces of water. Dip it for 2 seconds, remove it, and do not shake it. And then we wait 1 minute and check it with the pink down here. Okay, so it's been well over 2 minutes. Still, copper is just the same. Iron's the same. And here is our nitrite and nitrate. There's no purple at all in those, so I'm assuming that means safe. The only thing left is bacteria. That takes 48 hours at 70 to 90 degrees. So we'll see about that one. Otherwise, it appears to be fine, other than the cloudiness, which should fix itself as we use more of the water in the well.